We drop the hook at Linton Bay and head to the marina, so we sneak a shower before we start shopping in town. Shh! Don't tell anyone. A 90-minute bus ride till we get to Sabanitas, the closest town with an ATM and supermarkets. Let the fun of herons begin. Almond.
Chris, today.
Including the black beans island. We found this Tetra Pak. Oops. This Tetra Pak, so it's way better because it's less weight for the boat.
Yeah, but be happy just looking. Don't they have Oreos? You were so happy before. What happened?
They don't have Oreos. We're going to another supermarket. They have Oreos, so this is the second supermarket we came.
Are you a happy camper?
Back with groceries outside the supermarket, Rata, our Rastafari taxi driver, made us an irresistible offer to take us back to Linton Bay with the promise of a fun trip. Being Carnival weekend, Rasta kept his promise. So we just arrived, we're preparing to pack everything. We just placed some of the shopping here so we can try to divide by segments on the boat. But as you can see, we still have way more bags to put away. And here, a bunch of toilet paper, hopefully for 2, 3, 4 months. And
we're not in Guatemala. We don't have the runs. That's a lot of toilet paper.
Yeah, but we need it. Sorry for the dishes, they will be done. That's a good job.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Now I'm back to work, start working. The fridge. No, we don't. We store all our cans and other stuff. Normally we can pack it until here. Now with this new Tetra Paks, we'll be able to put even more stuff. Or we put, for example, we put the peanut butter here. These type of things that don't go off. It's okay being here because sometimes it gets really, really hot. So another part of the storage is identifying what we eat. Because when we store it here on the bank or on the fridge, because when we pick it, we just see the top, so we don't see the rottle. We identify, so it's easy for us to pick what we need later on to refill the easy pickup storage that we have near where we cook and redistribute for other places or vice versa. Voila! Perfect fit!
We are off! 20 knots and beautiful conditions. We couldn't have asked for anything better. Well, we could have asked for wind after the beam instead of forward of the beam, but it didn't matter because there was no swell to speak of. It was awesome. We were flying along at 7 or 8 knots. It was bloody great. And then this fella turned up. I didn't know really what this bird really wanted. I thought it maybe wanted to have a little sleep. have a rest. Oh, just like that little bird having a rest. Margarida found a cure for seasickness, and that's to simply fall asleep for the entire journey. Oh, little bird's back. Then I worked out what it was here for. It was trying to get the fish that the boat was disturbing on the surface of the water. Wrong way, buddy. San Blas is the other way. I don't know, some people are turkeys, aren't they? He's got the direction wrong. There's my little beautiful steering. She's doing an excellent job. Top stuff Margarida. Oh, this one's back. Yep, I must have filmed it about 20 times. It didn't get a single fish. What a bugger. Beautiful day sailing. Not as forecast. It was supposed to be 20 to 25, gusting to 30. We had it 18 to 22, which is still good because we had almost full sail up, doing about 7 knots average. We're just coming into San Blas now. We passed Porvenir. That's back there somewhere. And this is Chichini. There's a massive wreck over there that we might check out one of these days. East Lemon Caves and Hollandaise. Now I reckon the best way to get into San Blas, especially if it's windy and you got some reasonable swell, it's not that big today. I think all the channels are a bit too tight around Porvenir. So it's just better to go through a place called Hollandaise Channel, which is between East Lemon and the Hollandaise Keys themselves. Very simple. There's a shoal area that comes westward or west-northwest out of the Hollandaise Keys that protects the channel. Just make sure you keep in 60 feet of depth and you'll see where the waves are crashing. That's less than 30 feet or about 30 feet. But it's all good, we're almost there.
Just makes sense, San Diego and Hilo. Oh baby, can we go round and around the globe?
We're back in San Blas. Someone's a little bit exhausted. She got to bed at 2 AM and I got her up at 6.
Yeah, I was trying to upload as many videos as possible.
Look what you're doing
So
to a people.
Don't say those things.
Okay, look what I'm doing to a people. Anyway,
Tomorrow we have this paradise.
good easy day. A little bit disappointing we didn't get the 45 knots off it.
I'm not disappointing, would have been terrible.
Not that we were getting 45 knots here, but 45 knots in Colombia because it would have had big swell, would have been good, but we didn't.
But we got a bath. Well, not shower, but waves.
Yeah, got a few, but nothing special. All right, let's go clean up.
Yesterday when we arrived, we realized the bed was wet on this part. It's still wet here. It was wet until here. We don't know where it came from, but we couldn't bother taking the bed because it was already late. So we decided to find where is the leak this morning. We touched yesterday the walls, and it's not coming from here. It might be that we have a hole on the side of the boat. So we're gonna find out soon enough, because we cannot keep sleeping on a wet bed. The hole here, because this is all wet. See, I'm pushing. See the water coming?
Yeah.
It might have a crack outside because we hit really hard yesterday on the way here to San Blas. Maybe we'll go outside and swim and check how it is.
Alright, the hunt continues. Who's a happy camper?
Yeah, I'm happy I stored everything in the vacuum bags, otherwise we have to clean all of this. Waking up in paradise.
Well, at least there's only like 10 mil of water in here. On the trip down, we had probably a few inches down in this locker, and where Margarita's sitting, we probably had about 4 inches of water. All the gear was wet and muddy, and the locker in front, it was almost full. So it's not too bad. Alright, well, I've washed all up around here. This lining's got foam. I mean, I would never do this in a boat because it just holds moisture, but I'm going to keep this nice, and so I'll just dry it out and try and find the leak before I completely make a wreck of this, because as you can see, it's not very nice underneath. Alright, I'll get the fan on that and we'll dry it out. Thinking this is where it's leaking, because it was the wettest under the lining, just under here. So I'll take apart the wooden trim up top and see if there's a crack between the seam. I didn't even know how they joined it. It might have been polyester resin, or it might even be screwed with silicone. So it's one of life's mysteries that will soon be solved. Washing getting done. More washing. Well, can't hear anything. Let's go exploring. I found a little crack around the paint. This seems to be an old drain hole. I suspect it was leaking. He just filled it up with ordinary polyester bog, I think. That's the little plug that came from it. As you can see, it's dirty, so the cracks I saw on the other side here obviously were allowing some water and dirt to get in, and under extreme slamming, it probably leaked in. It looks like there's a little crack in there, although I scraped it round and now it looks like it's disguised the crack. But I'll do a better job and I'll use some epoxy resin there. But every single screw hole is a potential for a leak. So we're gonna take off this tow rail, or whatever you call it, wooden trim. A lot of places it's rotting anyway and splitting. We'll take it off, we'll seal it up, sand it back and paint it. We only collected probably a litre or two in the bedroom, so it's not a great thing, not a great leak. It's just uncomfortable and we can't have it, especially in the master bedroom. Now, because they've used silicone on all of these holes, and the silicone, even though I've drilled them, the silicone still sticks to the edges, I'm just going to use this to clean up all the edges and also make a plug. So if you have like a flange on each side, it's going to be difficult for it to come out. Meanwhile, on the other side of Freedom, as you can see, I have my Chinese working boots on. Sorry to my single Chinese viewer, I mean no disrespect. Oh, almost gave my toes a clipping. Okay, so we've drilled up all those holes. I'm going to fill them full of an epoxy paste. I use epoxy because it's going to be way better than vinyl ester and and polyester, because it's stickier and I think it's stronger, especially in combination with, I'm going to put some milled fibres with it, which is tiny little cellulose fibres, and bulk it up with a bit of microballs, but not too much, because this is supposedly trying to seal the leak. So I'm going to make a reasonably wet mix. So it's not going to be like the consistency of toothpaste, it'll be a little bit thinner than that, because then hopefully that'll ooze into all the cracks that I think that are there. Because that's why the guy bogged it in the first place, because it's probably leaking into his bedroom and he just bogged it with shitty old polyester. So should be all good. Mix it all up. Now the quantities I'm going to make, here we go. I'll probably make about 50 mil. So maybe about 30 mil of epoxy. It's 5:1 epoxy, but maybe a spoonful of this and a spoonful of that. There you go. Just do it to eye. That's what I'm going to do. Just going to be a little bit more drippy than toothpaste. A little bit runny. I might add a little bit more micro balls just to get it out, but I have to go quick and I've got to put it in the semi tube. So go. So what we got is we got a strip of peel ply along some masking tape, and Margarita's cutting them off. So we need to do 86 of these. These are going to seal off the ends of all the drill holes where the wooden toe rail was. Because it's quite windy today, we need the masking tape to hold the peel ply. Normally, the peel ply would just stick to the epoxy and it'll be fine, but I think they'd blow away. Also, the mix is a bit runny, so we need the masking tape and peel ply to hold the mix in the holes, otherwise it'll go everywhere. We don't know where the leak is. It tends to be down here, this section here, but we don't know if it's leaking through these staunchion bolts and leaking along and then down. So we're just checking everything. So we might as well do it. It's a bit of a miserable day. Yeah, I've got some trusty butyl tape. I've never used this before I got this boat, but I think this is way superior to silicone because you can actually manage it. So I'm cutting off a little bit here. I'm going to seal it around the bolt, the head of the bolt. Make it a little bit generous so it squeezes out the side. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to have it underneath. So I'm going to have it like this. Now I don't know if this is actually what they do with butyl tape, but I just figured this is the right way of doing it. So maybe you should check out the internet sites, but this seems right, and I've done it to other places and it seems to hold. So I've sealed it there, and then what I'm going to do, mold the tape into a little snaky, and I'm going to seal it underneath here. So what will happen is, as I tighten this will squeeze and create a seal from the top, so no moisture will get in from the top head of the bolt and no moisture will get in from underneath this plate. Now the base plate that goes underneath this deck, I'm not going to seal with butyl tape. The reason being is if I do botch this up and it leaks, I want to see it leaking inside, because if it doesn't, it'll get in the deck, and the deck is, in these old boats, marine ply. So the moisture will keep on getting through this botched bit here, and it won't be able to escape down through the nut, and I'm not going to know, the base plate, and I'm not going to know it's leaking, so it's going to continually go in the deck, keep the deck moist, and the deck's going to rot. So I don't want that. So I'm just going to seal it up here, and hopefully I do a good job. So I use a generous layer. Should be good. I should also point out, when I do this, you don't turn the head of this bolt. You screw tight from underneath. So you've got to keep this fixed so this just clamps down and just keep the seal. Otherwise, if you keep twisting this, it'll twist a hole and it'll leak in, just like it does with silicone. Alright. The toe rail's off and the holes are filled. Now to sand and paint. No rain in the forecast, so let's go. Where's the main painter?
I'm here
You making breakfast?
doing our dessert breakfast.
What evidence is there that you were painting? Come on, show us. Alright. Alright. Oh, baby.
No.
You know, Margarita, we are supposed to paint the boat and not ourselves. Any comments?
I tend to dirty myself.
No, baby.
Because when I take the brush, I always do it a bit more faint, so I don't have to do so much covers, and then on the one splashes me and the boat.
I'd like to know, how do weather forecasters tell when it's going to rain? It's very easy, people. There's a bit of a hint there, and there's a bit of a hint there. All you have to do is get me to start painting the boat. We painted the tow rails, and look, rain. In fact, we already had a couple of little drops already. Top stuff? The 5 minutes old paint job looked a little dirty. So I'm glad it rained, just like it did in Tampa, to clean it all up.
Can we get a sailboat chasing down the sunset as we
The paint job is complete, and it looks, well, adequate. You know this blog, nothing but quality. I'm not going to fly too close because you'll see the imperfections.
Oh, the world is out there waiting to explore, and all our troubles here wanting to be